Alright, let's get this shit started. Okay, so I've been wanting to do a kind of a little bit of a podcast for a while, and I've done a few things before on Warframe. This is not Warframe, so if you're here for video games, this is not video games. This is actually related to a post on the Maker forums. I'm part of the Maker network, MCN or whatever. Doesn't make me anything cool or anything. It's just a big channel, multi-channel network, and you know. Anyways, there was a post there, and people were talking about the thread was how often, what's your schedule like for doing videos? And I'm gonna see if I can skim through what I wrote. I basically said I don't have a schedule, but I do understand that that's not a good thing as YouTube works now. It's better to be consistent and have content uploaded daily or pretty often, because that means you just have more content out there. It's almost like now it's better to just shotgun the hell out of your content than it is to make really good content and hope that people pick up on it. And the reason why is there's just so many gaming channels out there right now that it's just, you know, I don't agree with the uploading content every single day, because I think most content isn't that entertaining day in, day out. You know, when you set yourself to that schedule, it becomes very rigorous and grueling in a sense, unless you just are a naturally entertaining person. And I don't know anybody that's really that great. I think, unfortunately, unfortunately, the way YouTube handles it is you're almost required to upload very often in order to be relevant in search. Unless you were, you know, in the right place at the right time, you know, your content was specifically in demand because nobody was really looking for it, and you had enough polish and people, you know, picked up on it and you were consistent enough. There's a lot of factors that go into that, you know. People think that, you know, you do a channel, you should get a bunch of subs, you know, sometimes not. Some of the newer channels, for example, the subject that I work with, which is gaming, and in that gaming, there's a subtopic of Warframe. Now that's a game that I've been playing for a couple of years already, and I've been producing content about the game. You know, just kind of reviewing a little bit here, giving my thoughts on gameplay, giving my thoughts on how I handle the game itself, and I've morphed how I deliver that content to an extent, and now I don't always have a whole lot of time. I mean, I only upload when I have a passionate topic, and I know the content's going to be something that I can stand behind thoroughly. The worst thing I've seen with a lot of channels, and this is just channels in general, is people uploading content just to get that daily upload out. So most of the time, that content is just going to turn out flat. The commentator has nothing really good to say because they haven't really thought it out, and you just get bland content. I mean, you get a daily content hit, which is good, because when people search for your name or that content topic, especially if you're sticking to that topic, like Warframe, for example, or comedy clubs, whatever it is, you know. I saw this one comic, and I was like, oh, that's really interesting. They're doing these interviews with other, I guess, people in their area. This is really kind of cool, but they stopped at some point doing that, and I'm like, that, you know, that could have been like I guess that was an entire series. Well, anyways, let me get back to the point. You know, I think that for me, I have to, you know, I don't have a lot of success with my YouTube channel. I think that the success that I do have, I really appreciate what I've been able to produce for other people that gives them something that to actually give a crap about. Nobody has to watch my content. Nobody has to stick around. Nobody has to comment. Nobody has to like. Nobody has to dislike. I mean, I think the worst feeling is not getting dislikes. That's a common misconception. I think people think that if I leave a dislike on this channel, that person's going to feel it like, you know, like a knife in their back. But it's not. The worst thing for YouTube creators is not getting any feedback. When we get no views, when we get no comments, when we don't get likes or dislikes. Because when you think about that, that's the worst thing in life, is to be unrecognized by anyone. And why is that? Why are we doing what we're doing as YouTube creators? Because we're trying to connect to people. We say connect to the audience. Bullshit. I'm a person just like anyone else. I watch other YouTube channels all the time. There's no difference. The only difference is I've decided to commit a portion of my time to doing these things. Why? Because I need that. I want that sense of connection that's a little bit more than just playing a game, for example. For me, playing a game can only go so far by myself. It's the community, and that's that connection, and it's the talk that I have with people. There's a channel I watch, and I believe this person is mute, and so her skill is just fucking amazing. And that's what I hook on. I'm looking at the skill in the video, and I'm like, holy shit. I haven't seen this kind of gameplay in a long time. It reminds me of when I used to play first-person shooters, and I used to actually have some good accuracy. Now I can't fucking aim for shit, but, that's beside the point. So what do? I go and I leave, like, a shitload of comments about, like, because the reason why I leave, like, big comments on people's channels is because I'm trying to, lay down what I think about whatever it is that they're talking about. Because in my opinion, I don't think that person's just putting out a video because they don't give a shit about connecting with people. I think that sometimes some YouTube creators have a hard time knowing what to say. I definitely have my ups and downs. There's times where I'm just I'm going through some terrible shit, and I don't want to deal with anyone, and somebody pisses me off on YouTube, and I just go off on them because they're being an asshole in the first place. Or there's other times where I'm just in a terrible fucking mood, and I'm not putting that aside, and somebody says something, and I take it the wrong way. And then I respond in a way that is just, it's not right. And when I catch that, I always go back and I say, you know what, that wasn't right. Now if the person continues to be a fucking dick, then they're out of there. I mean, nobody needs to. Life is too short to hold grudges on messages. I'm talking about for myself, and I guess for other people too, if you can relate to this at all. I don't know if anyone else is that petty. I know I am sometimes. Life is too short to just hold grudges on comments or whatever it is. I never go to another person's channel and give them shit for no reason. It makes no sense. If I go to a person's channel and I question them about things, it's because I want to know, what were you thinking about that? What do you think about this? I want them to form a level of communication with me more than just like saying, hey, here's this thing. Because more than often when we make videos as YouTube creators, that's not the finished product. That's just when we decided, hey, we gotta upload this at some point. We're done. If we don't get this out there, it's never going to get uploaded. A lot of creators will tend to be like that in general. This has nothing to do with just YouTube. This is in general. Sometimes an artist only stops because there's a deadline. I'm not going to try to say fine art is exactly what we're doing, because I don't think it is a lot of the time. A lot of the gaming channels are just making, gaming channel stuff. We're recording gameplay and we're throwing some commentary on there because we're talking to people. We're being there. I know for me, my channel was intended to be me talking to y'all, whoever's listening, as if, hey, you're my pals, you're my buddies, you're the people that I used to play video games with that maybe I don't anymore. And whether that's for, whatever reason, that is what it is. So, for me, a lot of the time, I'm doing that for a sense of connection. And I think a lot of other YouTube creators are too. So, where I'm going with this is, it's just kind of my rambling thing, So, I was talking about this forum post about having to schedule and, why don't I specifically upload every single day, even though it's probably a good practice to do so for YouTube search results. I can't do it. I can't do it because I don't put the time in, because I kind of don't have that time for it. What I do is, like I said, if I've got a passionate topic that I want to talk about, sorry, I'm like ready to cough like every 5 seconds here. So that's why my voice sounds fucked up, because I'm like trying not to cough really hard. My thing is, my advice, if I can give that, I really can't. I don't really have that many subs and all that kind of shit. But my advice is to stick behind the content you create. Have integrity for what you're doing. Know if your content is mediocre. Like, I know when my content is fucking mediocre. And not only that, but YouTube, man, I'm like really choking back a cough here. YouTube viewers will fucking tell me, what the hell is that? What did you just upload? Step up your game. I'm not saying don't make mediocre content or don't put something out that is mediocre. I'm saying at least know what level you're on and try to improve it every time. Each time I do a new video, I always try to do something different. I try to improve something. Whether it's cutting down on the ums, the uhs, pauses, things like that, or as a person, I once had a commenter tell me that I was using virus words too much. Those are words that apparently, they're like and they take the place of something else when I don't even need something to be there. Other times I'm trying to work on specific tonal delivery, such as, certain type of energy or whatever it is. I'm always trying something new. Maybe it's a new graphic. I don't know. I usually don't do new graphics a whole fucking lot, but, whatever. It could be a new editing technique, new music, new maybe overlaid inner dialogue. I love doing that stuff. I just, I don't always put as much time into it as I would want. But I like when a commenter is commenting on stuff and they have their inner monologue, their inner dialogue in text over them saying, you're saying that, what you really mean is this. It's fun for me. Anyways, kind of reminds me of Jim Gaffigan when he does his stand-up, and his little voice, his little nagging voice of doubt chimes in every once in a while. Okay, so I'm getting to the end of this. I know if you happen to keep listening, then something's wrong with you too. I think for game channels especially, you've got to be aware how many of us are doing this. How easy it is for you to just do some simple recording, not really think about what you're talking about because you're just doing stream of consciousness, and then upload it. Now, if it's that easy, imagine how easy it is for everyone to replicate exactly what you're doing. I'm kind of reading some of the posts that I put on the maker forums, by the way. So, and then my advice is engage your audience, listen to them, bring them in, try not to focus on getting something out. Try to focus on getting something out that would make you proud, and try to look at your content as an outsider might. Because a lot of the times when we're making these videos, we're not always putting ourselves behind the person's viewpoint of, I just want to see what the stats are for this build, dude. Why do you have to give me everything under the sun? That kind of shit. Anyways, my advice, give your videos a very hard look and ask yourself what it is that you're bringing to this that people would actually give a shit about. It's not easy to break out anymore, especially for gaming channels. Put the work in, kick some butt. Even if your channel doesn't amount to much number-wise, you can always get some value out of doing what you're doing by learning how to kind of give speeches in a sense. You have to think a little bit ahead of time about what you're going to be recording on vocals in order to structure stories. And if anything, maybe it's just learning how to do how-to type of things. Okay, my voice is giving out. And this is about 15 minutes. Thanks, guys, for listening if you did. And we'll see you next time-ish.